their game set up between Cleff and Moe. And here's one of the things I love about Moe, by the way. Doesn't matter if the game's for $1, $250, $1,000, it's a $100,000 belt. He's going to fight just as hard for anything. He's not one of those guys out there that goes, this isn't worth my time or money. Any opportunity he has to win some money, he's going to come out and fight for it.
Yeah, we talk about it all the time. You know, the players out there, especially this year, another one that I think has grown a lot and matured a lot in this regard is Joke. You know, he's a guy who used to be no stream team. I'm never playing. I won't even play a cash game against you if you're streaming on Twitch, period. I'm staying off stream, and I'm focusing my efforts to keeping my scheme below wraps. And then when it comes time for the MCS events, I'll just show up and I'm going to run what I run. This year, he's taking a different approach. He's going to go ahead and test his mettle week in, week out, make sure he's playing the best of the best every single week in our F&F events. And you see that he's very strong for it. He's looking like, you know, with the exception of Cleff, who's running really hot right now, he's been probably our most consistent player in Friday Night Football. And I really would like to see more of these guys start to get into that same mode of thinking and realize that, hey, you know, you can still grind for F&F or for MCS and play an F&F every week.
Well, they're playing for $250 right now here in Game 2 of our King of the Hill. By the way, I got to give a big shout out to CeriousMoe. Came into the Twitch chat and said, so sorry for the delay. Wasn't his fault. They were getting invites messed up, but I appreciate that,
This guy's a pro. He can fill. He can carry. He knows how to get it done. But, hey, let's go ahead and get it going. Round number 2, Cleff versus Moe. $250 on the line. King of the Hill. Friday Night Football Saturday edition.
Exclamation point, vote in the chat to vote. Dreeny says, exclamation point, vote Wesley, true underdog story. Joke saying, F&F, big reason for my success this year. Thank you guys for that. Boog saying, go vote, chat, go vote for your boy. I don't like how I got popped by Moe last time. He's not even thinking about Cleff. He just wants Moe.
He lost by 7 votes. What was it, 182 to 175? Is that what it was?
Something like that.
Yeah, very, very close vote with CeriousMoe just edging out Boogs for next. So again, Cleff, we talked about this in the first matchup. He's viewing this as a business trip. He's got 7 matchups to play. If he loses, he's done until the 7th match where he would get back into the voting. But, you know, he's got an opportunity to stay here all day long. And, I mean, heck, I'm not supposed to pick sides, but we would be better for it here on the broadcast. He's been playing some phenomenal Madden here.
CeriousMoe and Cleff. Moe rocking the Raiders. Cleff rocking the Eagles. Both rocking Andrew Luck. He's going to take off. It's interesting to see how this game has evolved. There's a lot of talk about Lamar Jackson, of course, Michael Vick all last year. Now it's Andrew Luck is really the pick at quarterback.
Yeah, most players use Andrew Luck because he's got the arm strength and the dashing deadeye, the ability to make accurate throws while on the run. Lamar does not have that yet. But when he does, I'm sure we'll see the change to Lamar Jackson as the #1 quarterback in salary cap.
First down and 10 for Moe. Dropping back, rolling outside with Luck. He's going to let it fly. And who else to let it fly to but one of the members of the greatest show on turf, Torrey Holt, the former Ram.
Nice pitch and catch right there. You saw at the bottom that little pass feedback. It said on the run, deadeye, meaning that he's getting 100% odds of an accurate throw on the run, if not under pressure. Those are those throws that, yes, Lamar Jackson will make the vast majority of, but every now and then he'll dice roll inaccurate and maybe throw that where the receiver can't drag their feet and get in bounds.
And just like that, Moe trying to get a stop. Cleff in business on the other side of the 50 here in Ford Field in Detroit. Luck rolling out, looking over the top. Does he have him beat? Yes, he does. You don't see Lattimore get beat too many times, but it's Tyreek Hill over the top.
Once again.
At Rocket Mortgage, we get that a home is more than a house. It's your escape, your fortress, your arena. So we'll be here when you need us, handling house so you can do home. Rocket Mortgage, official mortgage lender of esports.
Once again, on the run, Andrew Luck dashing deadeye. Tyreek Hill, big chunk of yardage right there, and that's going to give Cleff the early lead. But we're going to see CeriousMoe take the field here. He'll probably be running the gun bunch in his own offense. He's a player that's a freestyler, though, Nick. We talk about how he can kind of run the under center 22 personnel, 2 backs, 2 tight ends. With 1 receiver, or he could go ahead and spread it out, go 3 receivers, 1 tight end, 1 running back. Last night in Friday Night Football, he was looking pretty good in the gun bunch until he ran into Canes. We'll see how he goes here today. It looks like Cleff, though, he's going to be running some 3-4 bear, and that warms my heart. That is my favorite formation in Madden 20.
I got to say, by the way, 45 Friday Night Footballs, that might have been top 3 best defensive performances I've ever seen from Canes last night.
Yeah, absolutely. Canes, those last 3 rounds of last night's tournament, if you guys get an opportunity, I mean, stick with us here the entire afternoon. We got a lot of competitive Madden today, but find some time tomorrow. Go back into our on-demand and watch Friday Night Football from last night. Watch the last 2 hours of that broadcast. Canes put on a defensive clinic against some really good offensive minds.
SeriousMoe. He's got Andrew Luck, and he's got Eric Dickerson at halfback. Many people agree might be the best halfback in the game right now. He's going to take a shot over the top, looking for Tyreek. Oh, he can't hang on. So many times we see Hill make that catch. Just can't come up with it there.
Troy Polamalu might have impacted that. If that was Aki one-on-one, maybe Hill holds on to that. But you saw right there, it looked like he was running the 6 O-line package, which in salary cap, if you do not carry a 6th offensive lineman, you'll see a wide receiver go to that spot.
7-0 Cleff on top after the tutty to Tyreek Hill. Moe's first drive of the game got voted in by you. You get to pick who our next matchup is, the winner of this game versus one of our other 6 competitors. Exclamation point, vote in the chat. Boogs with the lead in that vote, but there's a lot of time left to vote.
Strong H-wing offense here for Moe. He's going to be running this Oakland Raiders playbook, and that's a play that you have to watch out for. That Tyreek Hill, again, 6 O-line package gets Tyreek Hill at the tight end position. And when you run that play F-trail, you have a lot of things to worry about. An angle route out of the backfield to the fullback. You got a post route that gets the diving catch animation to the solo receiver. And then you've got that corner route to a guy like Tyreek Hill. That's not, Delaney Walker running that at the tight end spot. That's the fastest man in the world running that spot. The world meaning the football world, not Usain Bolt.
Dude, let's get a Usain Bolt card.
Oh, my goodness.
In Mutt. What's his speed? 104. Breaks the game. 3rd down and 10 for Moe. You don't really think of a strong formation as a passing formation, but it's got a couple nice pass plays. Eric Dickerson in the backfield. See if he gets a carry, perhaps.
And the reason that I like these formations as passing formations is when you run these heavy sets like the strong H wing, as you see pressure here, Luck, that's going to be
Troy Apke trying to make a play.
What you end up doing when you call these formations like the strong H wing, the strong close, the I form H tight, I form close, is you get people to really kind of run the meta run defenses because they have to respect the run threat. And if you know what their coverage and their linebacker setups are, you can create route combinations that attack those, and it makes it easier to throw. So I think it's a really high-level play to pass from those sets.
Well, traditionally aggressive. Moe going for it on 4th and 10 early in this second game of our King of the Hill tournament. Pressure off the edge. Screamer. Someone's got to pick him up. Washington with the sack on 4th down, and Cleff gets the stop.
Big stop right there by Cleff. Turnover on downs here. He is rolling from that first round momentum against Kiv, up 7-0 with the ball against SeriousMoe, and he's got great field position starting in the red zone.
1st and 10. Yeah, Cleff at the 20-yard line in the bunch. Ellington on the left hip of Andrew Luck. Got dashing Deadeye and escape artist. Dropping back is Luck. Rolling out is Luck. Oh, he might have had B. Just got caught up in the middle. Look at Torrey Holt breaking tackles and breaking hearts.
Breaks off of the tackle of Polamalu, but that's Brian Burns, the rookie on the Carolina Panthers, wearing those Raiders uniforms. Speaking of the uniforms, I saw someone in the chat says, I don't like it when players don't match their stadium and their uniforms. The reason you oftentimes don't see that in salary cap is that pro players, they're trying to take lots of variables that they can't control out of it. If you leave weather on, there's a chance you might have no wind, but there's also a chance you might be facing a 7-mile-an-hour crosswind in a competitive setting. So there's kind of that gentleman's agreement that if you're playing high-level Madden, let's play in the domes, let's play in the Saints, the Lions, the Falcon stadiums, and close those roofs, and let's play with no wind.
2nd down and 4. Luck rolling left. Going to try to take off. I don't think he got the first down there near the 10-yard line. It's going to be oh, they gave him the first down. Boy, that didn't look like that ball got anywhere near the first down marker, but they give it to him.
It's been some really questionable spots over the last couple days that we've been watching here, all year, in fact. But you see right there, 1st down and goal from the 10. He's got a full opportunity here to take control of this game. Cleff is another player that you can't let get hot. I mean, we saw him go 12 straight wins in Friday Night Football over the last 3 FNFs. This King of the Hill format fits a guy like him that is very, very streaky.
1st down and goal, Luck
Wheel route.
Looking for it. Oh, good lurk there from Mo, and that's Troy P with the pick. And going the other way, and no one may catch Paul Amalu. We've seen this so many times in his career. Look at him try to house this one. Hill can't run him down. Holt can't run him down. And Mo an extra point away from tying it up.
One of the best lurks in the game. SeriousMoe will adapt, and he will bait throws with the best of them. You saw right there a little mesh post. Very common red zone offense, especially inside the 10. They look for that diving possession catch animation from the running back as he cuts up the seam. SeriousMoe baited that the whole way. That's what he was wanting to guard the entire play.
Is there anything more frustrating as an offensive player when you know you just got baited?
Yeah, I mean, right there, Cleff is sitting there. He's not upset. He's just saying, listen, that's Mo. Mo made a really nice play. Cleff had a great defensive stop before that, and he had a great drive. His first mistake is something that Mo does often to players just as good as Cleff on the regular.
7-7 the score, and now Cleff with the ball back. A huge pick six for SeriousMoe.
So right here now, if you're Cleff, you just can't let that mistake compound in your mind. You've played great Madden all day long. You've played great Madden for the last couple months. You know, one mistake isn't going to beat you in this game, especially because you got that stop against SeriousMoe on Mo's first drive on the turnover on downs. All things are even right here in your mind if you're Cleff.
But you think about that, that might have been a 14-point swing.
Really could have. I mean, it could just as easily be 14-0 Cleff, and it's Mo's ball playing for his game right here on this drive. But instead, we're back to square one.
7-7 the score. Luck dropping back for Cleff. Looking for the crosser. Got him. Torrey Holt to the 44-yard line.
I find there's a lot of people in the chat that are way too concerned with what my facial hair looks like.
They really want to talk about that.
Backwards hats because there's lights, so if I wear my hat forwards, then I've got shadows.
7-7 the score here in game 2 of our King of the Hill. Luck underneath finds Hill, trying to become the King of the Hill.
Ooh. Stop
and go, and there were a couple white jerseys though that were coming back the other way.
Yeah, fortunately for Cleff right there, no enforcer right there. Seen a lot of players go away from the enforcer lately. I don't know if it's necessarily because of, they just don't feel like the run meta, those running backs are not fumbling near as much as they get higher carry ratings. But as the pass starts to become more viable, I really feel like the enforcer is a great ability against passers because you throw that shallow cross, and if that is Tillman rallying down on that throw, you could force a lot of fumbles.
The King in the chat saying, oh no, Cleff. Where's the stick?
Yeah, we'll see.
You know who's got some stick?
The King.
The King has some stick.
We'll see if he gets into the King of the Hill tournament here today. He is one of the players that you can vote for. Exclamation point, vote in the chat, and let us know who you want to have next taking on the winner of this matchup.
Luck trying to pick up some yards on the ground, escaping the pocket, but only get one. Gonna bring up a 2nd and 9. Icon saying need the King next game.
Quite the take right there in the chat from Epps 1983.
What did that say?
I'll say this. Real men don't worry about what other men are doing.
2nd and 9 for Luck. Sitting down is Andrew Luck. Cam Wake able to get there. Man, remember, Cam Wake I felt like was one of those guys that so much hype coming into the NFL and just sort of fizzled out a little bit.
A lot of players love him in this game. Cheap source of power move, I believe it is. A lot of players will go with him as kind of an edge rusher against passers. You know, he's not the best holding up against the run. EA's never been great to him in terms of his strength or block shedding ability. So haven't seen a whole lot of him, but as more people start to pass, you might see him creep into some lineups.
3rd and 12. Cleff trying to find something down the field, but Mo, as Burns get there, the Carolina Panthers, young phenom. It seemed like once that field tightened up, the last 2 drives, the kick is up is good. It is 10-7. But once that field tightened up, SeriousMoe's defense really got him in a box.
Yeah, the back of the end zone, once you start to get inside around the 30, becomes kind of a 12th defender. Guys in the deep zones respond differently to some of those deep bomb plays that the West Coast offense, in particular the bunch formation, is known for. So once you enter that 35 and in range, things change a little bit. You have to become more underneath oriented, which is kind of the staple of the West Coast. Ironically, though, we see a lot of these guys fizzle out down here in this area.
Cam Wake, the former CFL player. I just felt like Wake was like 3 or 4 years he was dominant, and then just sort of felt like he fell off the face of the earth. Age will do that to you. There's so many players. I mean, again, what am I talking about? We had Peyton Hillis. Oh, Eric Dickerson. Oh, you don't need any abilities when you give him the little shimmy shake like that. Eric Dickerson to the 5. Eric Dickerson. Crib shot for SeriousMoe. It was only going to be a matter of time before we saw Eric Dickerson in the end zone.
Freestyle ball, that's SeriousMoe. He'll show you the bunch last night. He'll come out and run the 22 personnel here today against Cleff. Finds the end zone. That is a great item, and I think it's the best running back in Mutt right now, Eric Dickerson.
Now, that's crazy considering the NFL 100 names that were released. Right. I mean, Emmitt Smith and, Jim Brown, but Eric Dickerson seems to be the favorable choice for a lot of these players. Yeah,
in particular in Mutt because of his 100 abilities. But so many of these guys, obviously, they're not using them in salary cap, but their skill set is still there. Strong, fast, auto-broken tackle animations, juke, spin move. You get the whole shebang with a guy like Dickerson. You're going to get the same with, the Jim Brown, the Barry Sanders, but Dickerson breaks more tackles, in my opinion.
Devin Hester showing off his speed. Drini saying, say no to fake Disney bugs. Avery Nelson asking, I'm grinding Gauntlet 2. Any of the players good?
Yeah, those gauntlet items, I mean, it's the cost of your time, no money, but you can get those free gauntlet players. I think that Marshall Yonda looks really solid at right guard. Definitely a guy that you should be looking at if you're playing those solos for the Series 4.
And now Boog saying hashtag vote for Boogs. Hester outside. Maybe that's only the second carry for Devin Hester for Cleff. We saw Hester get a lot of carries in that first game. Started out trying to get the passing game going from Cleff, but maybe with his red zone struggles, we're going to see Devin Hester get a couple more.
Oh, Epps coming back saying that real men do wear their hats backwards. Well, you're my guy because both of us up here are wearing our hats backwards. I think I misread it, but hey, the chat's a little chippy, and I'm not afraid to fire back. But I might have misread
we came off of a spicy chat last night.
The chat was toxic last night, boys. We were fighting for our lives. We were being told to fix our servers for 5 hours straight last night.
14-10, SeriousMoe with the lead, nearing the 3-minute mark in the first half. Hester on 2nd and 1, give him 3. Cleff starting to get a little groove with the ground and pound attack.
Yeah, right here, Cleff trying to slow it down. He had all the momentum to start the game, but SeriousMoe with a huge pick 6 for a touchdown, got another stop. And then the long run by Dickerson, starting to snowball just a tad on Cleff. So I like his choice right here to kind of slow this pace and try to get his feet back under him. All good, Epps. It's not serious, man. I just cap back at people when people cap at me in the chat. It's nothing serious to me, man.
Drini saying we down 50 votes. Chat, get your votes in. It closes at the end of this game. ! Vote. Get you the link to vote in our King of the Hill. This is game number 2. Mo and Cleff, Nick Mazesco, Zan along with you. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us on a Saturday afternoon. First, again, I'm going to say this very carefully because I got ripped for it, okay? First non-full weekend of college football. I'm not saying there's no college football. I'm saying it's not a full weekend slate since all the way back in August. See you, Billy Oak. Thanks for tuning in, man.
Yes, absolutely. And we appreciate the 4,000 nearly of you guys hanging out with us. You guys could be doing anything on this fine Saturday, but you guys are here hanging out with us. The Army-Navy game is tonight, which actually I really like that game, Nick.
Who doesn't love Army-Navy? I mean, you know what I'm going to say? It's actually going on right now. It kicked off maybe 5-10 minutes ago. I'm going to say it for our man in the chat. Go Navy, beat Army for our man, NorCal Navy Mike. Go Navy, beat Army for NorCal Navy Mike.
I'll tell you what, I'll be sad when the day comes that neither of the teams is running the wishbone, flexbone style offense.
Triple option.
Didn't Army move on from that style offense? I know they were in the wingbone style offense.
They were in the wingbone. They're still running that triple option.
Okay.
But they throw it slightly more than they would in years past. Navy's a top 25 team. They're playing great.
Neither of those two schools should ever be allowed to hire a coach that runs anything but those styles of offense. You got to preserve those offenses.
That's how I felt about Georgia Tech when their coach retired. They went away from the triple option. I'm like, Georgia Tech's run the triple option for darn near 30 years, and now they're switching to like a normal offense. Just hashtag bring the wishbone to Madden. Come on, if we're gonna run the ball, let's get some wing T. Let's get some wishbone. Let's really get. Oh, here you go into the far formation. And gives it to Devin Hester at fullback, nowhere to go.
Good run defense once again here. Mo shutting it down. But again, I like what Cleff is doing right here, just slowing down the pace a little bit. It got away from him. And that's the sign of a great Madden player. They know when they feel that momentum slipping and they're able to kind of change it up. I think that's a staple of Mo's game because he's willing to ditch a formation and just freestyle in something else just to change it up.
Three-man rush. Looking to the wheel route. Oh, this has been a problem. It's picked off by Smith. Bracket coverage, and Telvin Smith comes up with a pick for SeriousMoe with that 4-point lead.
You saw right there, tried to squeeze it in the window between the flat defender and the outside safety, breaking on that throw. Looks like Rod Woodson and Telvin Smith. You saw the nice click on, but just not enough room. Great defense by Moe. Now he's back in this formation, which, while it's kind of a plotter's formation, he can be really explosive in this offense.
Golden Child saying, vote for whoever hasn't played yet. That's all of them. Once you lose in this, you don't get to be voted for until that last game, so don't worry. All the players you're voting for right now have not played yet in the King of the Hill.
Going to go with that I-form tight formation. Motioning Cooks across the formation to the wide side of the field, trying to get a tell on the coverage to see if he follows playing that man-style coverage. That tells him what he wants to go with from a route combination.
You might be waving goodbye to Eric Dickerson one more time. Count them off, 15, 10, 5. Dickerson one more time for SeriousMoe. That ground and pound attack going to work.
It's tough. Dickerson's the best running back in the game. You get this offense where, you know, you can kind of run the stretch, the dive. He audibles between the strong formation, the I-form H tight. He's got a lot of different run schemes, and he uses those motions well to figure out what type of coverage he's in. Is it, you know, a cloud flat coverage where they're playing force on the outside with the corner, or are the outside linebackers responsible for containing the run? And then he chooses the right run scheme. There's a little bit more thinking that goes into the run game than a lot of players are willing to admit. And there are players out there that it's like, hey, why does this guy, all he does is run dive and stretch? Well, it's like, hey, he knows exactly the run defense you're in, and he knows exactly what run call to call against it.
And now you talk about importance of drives. We're talking yesterday how that last minute and a half before the halftime, that may be the most important time of the game. Cleff down by 11, but with the ball needing points on this drive.
Yeah, Cleff right here, it's hard to say that he's in trouble because he can be an explosive player in his own right, but he's got to get something here in this last minute 10 of the first half. Otherwise, we might be seeing SeriousMoe plant his flag at the top of the hill and take on, I'm not sure who's leading right now, but you guys can get your votes.
We'll check in at halftime at the...
Yeah, we'll be checking in about a minute.
Luck underneath. That's Devin Hester. Takes a big hit, but he'll pick up 8. Timeout taken by Cleff. Guys, exclamation point giveaway is not running right now. We don't have any t-shirt giveaways tonight.
Yeah, we'll be changing up our point system next week. Last night was the end of our point system. We're going to be going with the Twitch point system for our regular FNFs starting next week.
All right, guys, we're going to do another Grubhub gift card giveaway. It's a keyword giveaway, as always. Put the word Grubhub in the chat. One word, no spaces. You'll be entered to win $25 in free Grubhub. When we come back from break, we'll show you those 6 NFL 100 players, and we'll start giving away. We got 4 of those to give away during the stream.
Studwell wants to know what's the trick for hitting the crossbar. What I think it is you're seeing that it's counting. It's actually hitting off of the little bar behind. Yeah, behind where the little camera is and bouncing back.
As a Browns fan, I know exactly what that is because Phil Dawson hit a kick to tie the game that initially the refs called no good. It's all the way back in the 06, I want to say. They reviewed it. They saw it hit the stanchion in the back. They're like, well, it counts. It technically went through.
Yeah, I just think that's what it is.
Has anyone ever won twice? I don't know.
Won a giveaway twice.
I'm trying to think back. We've had 45 of these. 45 times 8 giveaways per stream.
I want to say that about a month and a half ago, we had somebody win twice in 3 weeks, but I don't remember who it was.
Uh-oh, Devin Hester to the right side, inside the 15, inside the 10, down to the 8-yard line. No timeouts remaining for Cleff. 10-second runoff. Under 10 to go, under 8 to go. Dropping back is Cleff. Rolling out, looks to the flat. That's Gresham. He'll quickly get out of bounds.
Yeah, I thought he was just going to go ahead and chuck that ball out of bounds right there instead of throwing the flat. I think that might have been the decision to go with right there, just in case Gresham gets tackled in bounds. Then you're looking at no points. But fortunately for Cleff, gets out of bounds and gets the field goal up and through. 1 second left here in the first half.
We will update you on the poll as soon as that second rolls off the clock. 21-13. That was a big field goal for Cleff. Dickerson takes the kickoff, trying to make something happen. Losing yards, gaining yards, sitting down, and we'll go to halftime. It is an 8-point game. Let's check in on the poll. It is Boogs running away with it right now with 70 more votes than the next highest, which is Dreeny. So if you want to see anybody other than Boogs get into that third King of the Hill game. You got to go vote now. Exclamation point, vote in the chat. 277 votes already tallied, but we know there are a ton of you out there that want to hear your voice heard.
Yeah, right now, Boog's running away from it. We'll see if there's a little bit of that collusionary super PAC funding starting to go for Drini to get back into this vote. But if it stays the way it is, we'll see Boogs up against the winner of this matchup in game number 3.
Winner of our $25 Grubhub gift card giveaway is SwagMerca813. Congratulations, you got yourself $25 in free grub from Grubhub. And guys, make sure you put exclamation point perks in the chat. You can see what sort of free food and deals are available in your area in your Grubhub perks wallet. Mo getting the ball first, up by 8. Cleff needing a stop. Don't want to get down by 2 scores, especially in this game. It's been the Eric Dickerson show after that first drive for SeriousMoe. Back-to-back long touchdowns. Hand off to Dickerson, left side. Oh, he had Polamalu blocked down the field, but what a tackle tight to the formation. If that play isn't made, Dickerson's still running.
Right here, if you're Mo, you want to go on that 5-minute drive. We saw one of those yesterday in Friday Night Football. Mo went, I think it took over a quarter in that Regs matchup. Of course, Regs has the 40-second play clocks, whereas Salary Cap has 30 seconds. But right here, if you're Mo, up by 8, worst case scenario is Cleff maybe gets a stop. He's still got to score and get a 2-point conversion. There's a lot of bad stuff that's got to happen to you in order for Cleff to tie this game. So right here, I wouldn't be surprised to see Mo really slow this down, run the ball a little bit more.
4 carries for Dickerson, 169 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, it's tough. I say slow it down, but I mean, when you're running the ball for 40 yards average, I mean, it's hard to really run clock when you're busting out runs that long.
21-13, 3rd and 7. For Mo, as Cleff seems to have found a little bit of run defense here. The first part of the second half. And Drini, I thought the chat wanted to see a classic, but I guess not. Now he's pulling the old, mother guilt plan.
It's the power of brand building. It really is. I mean, that's what it comes down to. These guys are all bringing their viewers, their supporters into the chat and getting them to vote. So, as Dickerson down the sideline, another
just
broken
wave
tackle.
Goodbye, salute, give him a high five on the way. A foot race to the house for Eric Dickerson.
This man's unreal. He just breaks a tackle. I mean, he does it in regular mutt. So in salary cap, you don't have Lawrence Taylor and Von Miller and Ray Lewis and Ryan Shazier and, all the NFL 100 linemen and all Ronnie Lott and Polamalu. You're dealing with budget players more often than not on defense. So it makes Dickerson even stronger.
He is so good, especially in open space. And that's the tough part about Dickerson is even when there's not open space, he can break that one tackle. And so many of these run defenses, there's no second-level support. If you get past that first level and maybe one linebacker, you're still running.
Yeah, it's ridiculous because of, a lot of times guys in mutt, they just think I'm going to continue loading up on my offense and just try to get production out of, a budget. We come to know names like Troy Apke because of salary cap, but with the abilities and these guys that have, jukebox and arm bar and these abilities, those guys just cannot make tackles in a phone booth with these NFL 100 running backs. 1st and
10, Luck dropping back, stepping left. He might have RB down the field, especially if it's Torrey Holt over the top of Troy P. and makes the catch at the 15-yard line. One play, one big play for Cleff down by 2 scores.
He really needed that, but now he's down here in the red zone where he's kind of struggled here against Mo. Mo's put the clamps down twice, once with a pick 6, about 100 yards the other way with Polamalu. We'll see what Cleff does, and he runs the ball here on 1st down.
Swag Mirko, who won that $25 gift card from Grubhub, said, thanks to y'all for sure. I hope this is the start of a giveaway win streak. Avery Nelson, appreciate the Twitch Prime sub. Appreciate all of our subscribers out there helping to continue to put on Friday Night Football each and every week. If you don't use your sub here, make sure you're at least supporting the Madden community as we continue to grow Madden as a streaming brand. Luck takes off, escape artist, winding, weaving, and taking hits.
Yeah, right now, Cleff, you can kind of see him pressing a little bit. That's a situation where, an even killed Cleff probably doesn't take that hit with luck, but to being down 15, pressing for an extra yard, probably not worth the chance of a fumble and losing the game right here at this juncture.
2:12 and counting in the 3rd quarter. Cleff needing a touchdown here. Look at how big that field goal was, though, before the half. He'd be down 18 right now. Instead, it's only a 2-score game.
Slogo Man, thank you very much, man. We appreciate it. We couldn't build this without you guys in the chat. You know, being able to try cool stuff out on a Saturday, go, you know, two streams in a row. That's the goal here. You know, we want to have as much content as possible for you guys and get an opportunity to continue growing the competitive brand as Devin Hester finds the end zone and Cleff right back in it.
Does it feel nice being able to say things like Devin Hester finds the end zone?
He's ridiculous.
He's absolutely nuts. I'll say it. I think one of the most underrated players in the history of the game, just because of the position that he excelled in.
Let me ask you this, because I'm not sure where I fall on it. Is he a Hall of Famer?
Yes.
Simply off a kick return record?
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, to me, Devin Hester is like Mariano Rivera.
Okay.
Is Mariano Rivera a Hall of Famer?
Yes.
Absolutely. He made the closer position what it was.
Sure.
Devin Hester made athletic punt returners who could make – I mean, again, it's a position that, you're lucky to maybe see 1 or 2 touchdowns. For some teams, you never see a punt return touchdown in a season. And for Devin Hester, he was putting up 4, 5, 6 a year. He's no question a Hall of Famer to me.
I mean, you think of games. When I think of Devin Hester, I think of 2 games in particular. There was a game against the Broncos in which Sauerbrunn just inexplicably continued to kick it to Hester over and over. And there's that iconic one of him jumping over Sauerbrunn, laying on the ground en route to his second return of the game. And then there's the game against the Arizona Cardinals where Devin Hester just single-handedly took over and brought the Bears back from 3 scores in the fourth quarter, along with Charles Tillman and the defense.
Listen, if you're going to put Devin Hester in your NFL 100 of 100 greatest players of all time, he's a Hall of Famer. Dickerson, he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's just the argument of, does a specialist make the Hall compared to a guy who, was impactful on plays beyond special teams. But I think if you're viewing it from a specialist standpoint, I think the Mariano Rivera comp is very fair because, Rivera's specialty was pitching 1 inning at a time, 70 times a year, and throwing a cut fastball, and, that he revolutionized that position.
Developed a pitch that now you're seeing many
Right.
players using. I mean, again, it's not saying he's not, Mariano Rivera. You can't compare Rivera to Nolan Ryan.
No.
Who pitched 250 innings a year. As Dickerson shows off the jukebox. Oh, you can't stop Eric Dickerson one-on-one. All you can do is watch until the taillight is in the distance.
The goggles, man. It's the goggles. The dude is so hard to stop. He's just fast, strong. You never bring him down one-on-one. And in a game where it's so heavy on the stretch and dive, I always am like, okay, why are you running, Dalvin Cook? If you're going to run this offense, pay up for the big guy. SeriousMoe shows you what you can do with a guy like that.
Again, leave it to the chat to take it out of context. I'm not saying Hester and Rivera are the same thing.
They always go there,
It's
right?
the position. It's the specialist position. I'm not comparing what Rivera did to baseball to what Hester did in football.
Context is hard sometimes.
Use context clues. Figure it out. 35-20. Moe back on top. Just when it felt like Cleff maybe was starting to get – I mean, let's be clear. I think Moe's now run the ball with Dickerson 7 times. He's hit the house 3 times.
Yeah, I continue to give the ball to Dickerson. If you throw the ball, it better be to Dickerson. I don't see why he doesn't get every touch the rest of the game when you're up by 2 possessions and trying to milk the clock out. Especially if you're going to make house calls. It's 2 for 1. 40 seconds or 7 points. That's the way you should view it if you're Moe.
Looking outside. That's Torrey Holt with the catch.
You see right there, Cleff, he's thrown only 2 incomplete passes this whole game. The problem is they both were interceptions. 15-17, that huge 102-yard pick 6 by Polamalu really looming large in this one. Didn't know at the time that was going to be as big as it was, but because it only tied the game. Moe had no momentum at that point, but it's been all Moe ever since.
Luck dropping back. Rolling outside. Good coverage downfield. He's going to take a shot to Hester over the top. Can Lattimore get back there? What a swat. So many guys would go for the pick there. Smart play by Moe, knowing he was out of position to just swat the ball away.
Yeah, right there, if you play a play on the ball animation and he can't animate, there's a chance that Devin Hester is able to catch that ball there. So just make that swat animation. There's usually a larger range of coverage to make that swat as opposed to trying to play an interception.
And guys, remember, still voting for who will take on the winner of this game. ! Vote in the chat to select who will be next in our 3rd King of the Hill game. Ball is out. Luck takes the hit. Oh, how do you not pick that ball up? Old Butterfingers on defense.
That's going to take us to the 4th quarter. 4's up in the chat. SeriousMoe trying to take the hill from Cleff. Cleff has already won $250. He's going to have to come back from down 15 in the last 5 minutes if he wants to stay for the next matchup.
Shotgun formation for Cleff needing a touchdown, down by 15. Looks over the middle, dangerous throw, but Hill makes the catch. That's a throw that's picked off in Madden 19, not so much here in 20.
Yeah, linebackers don't have the ups that they used to. And I've noticed even with this most recent title up this week, I feel like linebackers aren't super picking everything like they were, the week or two prior. So I'm noticing over the middle, there's a lot more to be had. These dig routes, Cleff has thrown them well today.
Now looking for the crosser, Tyreek Hill, diving play in front of prime time to make the catch. Cleff's in business at the 23-yard line.
In White Giant, how do you win in King of the Hill? So the way the format works is we got 10 players that are all on call to be up next. And we started off with Kib and Cleff. Every game that we're playing today is a $250 match. After that, the chat decides through the voting, exclamation point vote in the chat, who's going to play in the next game. That person comes up and plays the winner of the previous game for $250 again and again and again. The problem is, once you lose, you're out of the pool of voting. So somebody new will be up for the very next game until our final game of the day, at which point everyone will be eligible to take on the current King of the Hill. We'll have one final vote, and that last match will be for $500.
Our man, the Brute from Boston, RG, with a 4-month sub. Appreciate the love, man.
Absolutely. Thank you so much to RG. Would love to get him down here to Huntsville and have a cast with him one of these weeks. That would be sick. I know he's very busy.
He's one of the hardest workers, working at EA, doing his job there, going and calling games for the broadcast. I mean, continue to be just an awesome person. RG's the man. Second down and 4 for Cleff. Handoff to Hester. And there was nowhere to go. Joseph says, come here, get in my belly.
This game right now, as I'm watching it, it's not that Cleff has been played poorly, because he hasn't at all. It's just been Mo in the red zone has been the difference on defense, that huge pick six. And you just see Cleff doesn't have that confidence as he drops back inside the 15-ish to, make these reads. Everything's really confined down here. Passing windows are very tight.
Devon Jones asking, hey, Zan, did that West Coast stick play get added in any other books in the update?
Off the top of my head, I don't think so. I know the Seattle Seahawks book added a read option and mesh post to their bunch, but several other bunches also got mesh post.
Hester out of that fullback slot, nowhere to go, and now 4th down in what could be the game. Cleff needs a touchdown. No more field goals will do it. Chi-Town Bear saying, I like this format. King of the Hill, cool.
We need to get the rights to the King of the Hill theme. I think it's just perfect. It's a perfect fit.
4th down and 4. Probably going to be looking for that wheel route out of the backfield. Splits hold out wide right. Luck dropping, looking for that wheel route, and there was a zone right there to bat it down. That should be about GG's. SeriousMoe with a 15-point lead now with the ball.
And at this point, guys, it's important to remind you, the minute that we see the tap out animation or the clock hits all zeros, we will take a snapshot of the vote at that point, and that will be the final standings. Because we know how competitive Madden is. Sometimes, when the game's over, it's just over. You tap out, you move on. But keep in mind right here, even though Cleff just lost, there's a chance for him to get back into this vote, just like Kib, who lost the previous game. That 7th game of this afternoon, everyone is back in action and eligible to be voted into that $500 game.
RG, always, man. Good to see you. Thank you so much for tuning in. As big shout out to Raw Dog with the Tier 1 sub. 11 months, 1 month away from the big 1 year.
Yeah, 1 year. Thank you for this continued support, Raw. We appreciate it, as well as everyone else subbing in here. Got to do my broken record again, guys. If you guys have an Amazon Prime account, that means that you have Twitch Prime. That's one free sub that you can give to any content creator, any streamer out there. I know Raw Dog streams. I know that all these pro players, they would appreciate your continued support as we try to build competitive Madden together. It's not just us here in Alabama doing this. It's with the power of you guys in the chat as well.
AMG, good to see you. A little Saturday afternoon FNF. It may be an oxymoron, but don't call me names. 3rd down and 6. Logan split out of the backfield, under 2 to go. Cleff has 2 timeouts. If you can get a stop here, still has a chance, but you don't want to give up that 1st down. Keep the drive alive. Logan split out of the backfield, now to the left. Logan back in the... Logan's getting his calisthenics in. He might be out of stamina. And now he's back outside. And now it's a handoff to Dickerson right down Main Street. He'll pick up maybe 2. Timeout taken by Cleff. Punt incoming.
Yeah, it's like TJ Logan really is just running lines, like those old suicides that you had to run in basketball practice in high school. It's just back and forth and back and forth. Mo using motion to kind of see who's blitzing, who's in man coverage, who slides. It may seem pointless, but he's picking up information from those motions that a lot of players don't realize he's getting.
Blue Tiger in the chat says, Zan, you need to teach Cleff the bear.
No, Cleff's got it, man. Cleff's a far more accomplished player than I am. The problem is right now, Mo is not running the stretch RPO looky. He's running mostly dive, and he's hitting the holes with Dickerson. I mean, there's run defense, and then there's Dickerson defense, and salary cap is a much different realm than regular mud, or just in general.
Oh, good coverage, good user, but Luck runs right by him as Woodson was blocked by the receiver downfield. It turns into a 34-yard gain on the ground.
Hey, never say never.